You finally saved up enough money from cutting lawns. It's summer. You're ready to build your first gaming PC, but you only got $360 to spend. We're going to show you how.
Step by step, we're going to build a $360 gaming PC, and Aliexpress was nice enough to sponsor this video to showcase that building a gaming PC doesn't have to be very expensive, especially when Aliexpress is involved. Aliexpress is one of our favorite places to build awesome budget gaming PCs that perform way above their price. Right now, Aliexpress is running a summer sale where you can save up to 90% off all the tech they have to offer. And using our discount code in the video description, you can save even more on select products. Aliexpress for PC hardware and more offers better choices at better prices, like this Mayu Mini Plus handheld with a ton of games ready to go at a very competitive price. A great pickup for yourself or a gift for somebody who loves retro games. Or these Transformer-themed wireless earbuds, which are perfect for Transformer fans or those looking to get an awesome wireless earbud solution at a great price. To learn more about the discounts they are running this summer, check the links in the description down below. And big thanks again to Aliexpress for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's show you how to build this gaming PC, shall we?
Once again, we appreciate Aliexpress sponsoring today's video, and Matt and I actually hand-selected these parts because we trust them, we know that they're going to work really good, and they got some good bang for buck going for them. And that's why we're going to start off with this Mogul motherboard CPU RAM combo. So, first of all, guys, I mean, the graphics, they just go kind of crazy, which you're going to notice that trend. So what we get here for a total of $70 is literally half the freaking PC. So as you can see, this is a 2011 style mount. They do give you the plastic mount that you will need. They do give us some RAM. Let's go ahead and open this up. All right, so we got, oh, it's actually their brand. It's Mogul branded RAM. It is DDR4 at 2133, 16 gigs, and honestly, not too bad looking. It's nice and stealthy. Nice and stealthy. So what we have right here is just this basically Xeon inside of a motherboard here. You are going to need a CMOS battery. Don't forget that. I guess we could calculate that in the price. They're like 25, 50 cents a piece. It should be like a 2032 button cell. But this right here is a Xeon E5 2680V3, which is a 12 core, 24 thread. You don't really need that many cores and threads, but hey, it's gonna be really cool bragging to your friends that you have that many cores and threads for $360. And then these motherboards are just basic X99 boards. They do have 4 RAM slots. You do get an NVMe slot. So, I mean, honestly, some room for expansion and whatnot. And once again, you guys are gonna need this bracket here, which we'll talk about the cooler that's gonna go on that. And it looks like this cooler, it's the no light CPU cooler, as we wrote down in the list. Most of these, honestly, are just very like tossed around in terms of the brand names. So you might buy one brand and then kind of get something a little bit different, but we're actually pretty happy with this one. And we actually get like pretty decent looking copper heat pipes, and the bottom's nice and flat. So I mean, I don't think this thing will have any problems cooling the Xeon. And it just uses really basic mounting, which we'll show you guys how to use in a minute. You guys know these guys. This is Team Group. This is the MP33. This is a 512 gig version. We were able to pick this up at this time for $35, which once again, pretty good deal. They usually hover around this price anyways. This is an NVMe, so you will get pretty fast Gen 3 speeds read and write, so your games will be lightning quick to launch.
Now for the GPU, we actually went NVIDIA this time for the GPU, and this is a Soyo RTX 2060 Super, which is actually a pretty good buy right now on Aliexpress. 2060 Super is a very capable GPU for 1080p medium-high settings, and the best part is you can actually get into some live streaming with this graphics card. And this Soyo card, while it's very affordable, coming in around $155 for this graphics card, we're able to go NVIDIA and get into live streaming and very entry-level ray tracing with a $360 build. Can't really complain about that. And for the power supply, we had this MSI Mag A550BN power supply. It's a power supply we know and love here on the channel, and we use in a lot of builds because it's very easy to pick up at the $49 price point. Really awesome power supply that I'm excited to use with these components. Now we have a new case to the channel that we're actually going to be using in another video as well, but this will be the first time we show it. This is the Aqua 3. I think it is an Okinos branded case, the Aqua 3, but you know what? It comes with 3 RGB fans pre-installed, kind of the fish tank style case that is very popular nowadays, with some ventilation in the power supply basement. The only thing I'm a little concerned about is it is all exhaust, but honestly with this build, it's not going to put out a lot of heat, so it's probably going to be perfectly fine. We'll do some temperature testing during the benchmark section, but it's just kind of a cool modern style looking case that comes in at around $59, making this build $360 to put together. It's very, very affordable for your next gaming PC, and we're going to show you step by step how to put it together. Once you've bought all the parts by using those links down below, we're going to show you how to set up the motherboard, get it installed in the case, plug in the graphics card, get all the cables hooked up, and then we'll dive straight into gaming to show you guys the performance of this PC. Let's get to the build guide.
So first thing I'm gonna do before I forget is I'm gonna pop a battery into this. So this is a CMOS battery that just basically keeps all your BIOS settings saved. The Xeon is already installed, which honestly, I think every board we've ever gotten has been pre-installed. So that's pretty straightforward. And we wanna install our cooler this way so that the fan is pulling air through towards the back of the case. So I just wanna make sure that I get my mounting points lined up right. So it's gonna go just like this. So let's go ahead and screw on, we gotta put these screws in. There's just 4 of them. And these are just PH2s. And now what we're gonna do is go ahead and put some thermal paste. Now this is a really big CPU, so I would honestly go pretty good with the thermal paste. All right, and then I'm just gonna kind of put a little bit over here, a little bit up here. I feel pretty good about that, pretty confident. Don't forget this. We've actually, we've never done this. We've never forgotten the peel, but your CPU will run a little hot if you don't do that. So this is nice because it's toolless. All we have to do is kind of just get this lined up. You're gonna get these brackets on the outside. Sometimes there's only like the little push pin. Yeah, which this one, it's smaller on one side. So we're gonna get the small side on first. Yep, there we go. Now this side's gonna be a little bit of a stretch. Ooh, there we go. So that thing has some nice pressure on it. We know that we're getting good contact. We're gonna go ahead and take our CPU fan cable and plug that into the CPU fan header, which is just a 4-pin to 4-pin. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of hide this cable a little bit. Oh yeah, I like that spot right there. Now for the RAM, normally what you wanna do on these, and you can try to find some labeling, so I see DIMM 2, so I'm gonna use the green slots, and we're actually gonna use both green slots like this, and that's what will allow this RAM to run in dual channel. It may seem like it makes sense to have the RAM side by side, but with these Xeon style boards, they were kind of designed to run a dual channel across from each other like this. So at this point, we got our RAM, we got our cooler, and we got our Xeon installed with the bracket. So now we're gonna go ahead and do our NVMe, which is gonna be a little bit difficult to get to, but we can do it. We can do it, I believe in us. All right, so we're gonna open our NVMe. I do love still getting to go NVMe, just because I just hate having to do the 2.5-inch drives and those ugly cables. So we're gonna swap out our PH2 bit to the PH1. As you can see, the riser kind of came with it a little bit. That's okay, we'll just hand screw that back down. You really don't even honestly need to tighten these things a ton. You can grab out the pliers if you want, but I'm not too worried about it. So we're gonna take our 512. It can only go in one way, which is kind of hitting our plastic bracket right now. So I'm gonna, there we go. Had to finesse it a little bit. So it was hitting that bracket, so I just had to kind of go underneath it. You might wanna do this step first before the cooler, but just like that, our NVMe is installed. That's how easy it is to install M.2 storage versus SATA style storage. So I definitely love SATA storage, especially because it's like the same price these days. So guys, check it out. We got a complete motherboard, and at this point, you're basically ready to test bench. I'm gonna have Matt come in though and go ahead and show you guys how to install the power supply, the IO shield, and a couple other things.
All right guys, it's time to install our power supply in the case. To get the case prepped, we remove the glass side panel right here and the back panel, and we kept the screws in the side of the case so you don't lose them. Good practice. Just move everything else off to the side, and we are gonna need this screw box that is located down here in the hard drive tray for the screws for this build. Let's see what we get with this one. Again, this is our first time building in this case, so I'm curious to see. It's very basic. You know, we got this little bag that comes with all the screws in this bag that you will need, and then some extra PCI covers and some zip ties for cable management, which Jackson will show you later on how to do cable management. Now let's go ahead and install the power supply, which we will need this little bag of screws that does come with your power supply. Get those out. I'll show you guys what these look like so you guys can compare the types of screws. This is a coarse thread power supply screw. We need to use those to install the power supply. So we're going to take our power supply here. We do have this twist tie on all these cables, which you can leave on temporarily if you want to just not have a mess, but normally I just like to take it off before installing the power supply. Figure out which way to untwist it. Now it's untied. Now don't be scared. I know there's a lot of cables. We'll show you guys how to deal with these here very shortly. And we're going to go ahead and move these cables out of the way, which again, wow, look at that, another twist tie. Twist tie is the staple of budget cases. We'll take that one out. Just move these out of the way. We do not want to get these stuck under the power supply because then we'll be wondering where they are. So we'll go ahead and take our power supply and we're going to go slide it in facing the fan down. Facing the fan down, that's very important. Slide it in right here. And Jonah will show you guys where we want this thing to line up. And Jonah's gonna tell me if I did line it up right. Is that lined up? That's perfect. So you see the 4 screw points that we need to take our 4 coarse threaded power supply screws and screw in the power supply. It's gonna go away for a second because I gotta walk over there, but that's what we're gonna be doing. Just like that, we have our power supply installed and ready to go. Now we need to get the IO shield in the case, which is important because it's the shield that protects your IO. duh. But all jokes aside, what we're gonna go ahead and do is lay our case down and lower the table for your cameraman. That is very important. And we're gonna grab this right here, the I/O shield, and we're gonna install that right here. So we'll go ahead and take this, make sure that this fan cable doesn't get stuck there. You don't want that. We're gonna line up like so and push in each corner. It can be kind of annoying sometimes, but make sure each corner is pushed in. Boom, boom. And how are we looking here? Cool. Now this right here you want to get rid of. This is a blocking port that blocks off the Ethernet for some reason. If you're going to use Ethernet, you're going to get rid of this. And honestly, I don't know why you would keep it anyways. And wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And eventually, it'll break right off. Be careful, that might be a little sharp now, so don't stick your fingers there. You might cut it. So here we go, we got this piece out of the way. We have the I/O shield in. It's time to install the motherboard. We have to see if there are any extra standoffs, which the standoffs, by the way, are these little guys right here. This is where the screws that hold in the motherboard get screwed into the case. So we have these right here. I don't think there's gonna be, I think there might be an extra, there might be one in a bad position. I think that's the situation we're dealing with, but we'll go ahead and test it. We'll take our motherboard, holding it by the cooler. We'll go ahead and drop it in and see if all the standoffs there. Actually, Jonah, we have perfection. All of them are there. We're not missing any. That's beautiful. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're gonna go ahead and get that bag of screws that I almost put underneath the case. We're gonna open it up and we're gonna get out a fine threaded screw. Now we'll show you guys the difference between a fine thread and a coarse thread power supply screw so you know the difference. These are the ones we used earlier for the power supply. These are the ones that we're gonna use for the motherboard. Don't get confused, guys. Just use the motherboard ones. Some cases use coarse threaded screws, but for this build guide, don't overthink it. We're using fine thread. Watch me regret that and this actually be coarse thread because we haven't built in this case before, but it's probably gonna be fine thread, all right? And actually, I think this LT2 screwdriver is not gonna work for this one because it's a little bit too thick at the base. We might need a little bit of a skinnier screwdriver, but these have horrible magnetic retention, so we'll see how this goes. Yeah, just use a normal screwdriver with a good magnetic tip. You won't have to deal with that. For some reason, this LTT screwdriver is a little bit too thick, so I couldn't get behind the ram clip and where that cutout is for the screw. Just couldn't do it for that one screw. This one should be fine. I take it back, this one is not fine. You guys see the problem? Jonah, can you show them the problem? So you just need a screwdriver that's a little bit skinnier in the base department. Till it's nice and tight. Don't over torque it. Now I should be able to use my LTT screwdriver that I love to use. Again, not sponsored, we just love them. It sounds so much more satisfying too, guys. We'll go right below it to the next one by the front panel. Then we'll jump over to behind the I/O. And then we'll jump right down. All right, guys, so we have the motherboard installed, ready to go. Now's the part that you might be kind of scared of, plugging everything in. All these cables look very intimidating, but it's not gonna be too bad. We're gonna plug in the power for the motherboard, plug in the front panel to plug everything up, USB, HD audio, and then the graphics card's gonna plop right in there, and then we'll be off to gaming. So guys, we're almost there, you got this.
All right, guys, it's that time of the day. Cable management and cable plug-in time. So we're gonna start off with the main power. This is the 24 pin coming off of the power supply. We're gonna go ahead and kind of squeeze that in between the motherboard and the case. And
he's trying, yeah, there you go. So it's a little bit of a struggle to get the 24 pin through, but as you can see, here's the 24 pin right here. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna line up the clip, push in, and boom, our 24 pin is installed and ready to go. Now, CPU power is not in its normal location, ladies and gentlemen. It is right above the 24 pin, as you see right here.
And speaking of that CPU connector, this right here is a 4+4 pin, or just commonly known as an 8 pin. It'll say CPU on the side. And
there's a cutout up top that's closer. Okay. It's like right there.
Yeah, normally it'd go over here though, but it's a little different.
So yeah, it's coming out right here. There is the CPU power. Weird location, but sometimes in these builds, it actually makes it a little more convenient than the other location because it's been kind of hard. We're gonna go ahead and plug it in and make sure to move these cables out of the fan. You do not want to deal with that later.
So the next step is I'm gonna go ahead and just preemptively run our PCIe, which I believe that this card only uses one 8 pin or a 6+2. So, I'm gonna go ahead and just run that through here. We're not gonna plug it in yet. We're not gonna put in the graphics card. Do not do that step yet.
So we're just gonna leave that right there. Easy peasy.
So for the next step, I'm gonna go ahead and plug in this SATA connector. We're just basically going ahead and finishing off the power supply now. So SATA connector, that's gonna power our little RGB hub here, which actually powers the RGB. And now we're gonna go ahead and switch over to the actual interface, which is gonna be, USB, front panel, stuff like that. I think we start off with the hard one, Matt. We start off with the front panel. So the front panel are these little guys here. They are separate, so make sure you find all of them. LED switch should be hooked up to your hub. That's how you can change your RGB. So I'm gonna be giving Matt power switch and power LED, very simple.
So yeah, as you can see, they're coming out right here, and this color coordinated front panel header is what we're gonna be using. Now on the motherboard, it might tell you which is which. This one doesn't seem to. So this one, all we have is a power switch and power LED, which the power LED are the two separate ones. McAllister put a diagram on screen here, his favorite part. We're gonna put this in the top left corner, the green section. Then the power switch is gonna go right next to that. Now this should work, but there's a chance that layout might be backwards or slightly different, but this would be the standard traditional way to plug it up.
Yeah, so here's the HD audio. This board actually, or sorry, the case does not have USB 2, so this normally I compare it to USB 2, but it looks very similar. It's missing a pin closer to like the middle.
Can that fit through here?
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice. I don't know why those cutouts are there and why they look like that, but we're gonna go ahead
for an SSD once again.
The HD audio is on the far left side. McAllister, can you put a little circle around the HD audio for me? Thank you very much. Line it up with the missing pin on the board. Push in, and boom. We are installed and ready to go with the HD audio.
This thing doesn't have USB-C, right?
No. Oh no.
Yep.
So that is one downside with this case being newer, which $60 case with USB-C, shout out to them, but we do not have USB-C header, so if you want to spend a little extra money to make it a functioning port, you can actually buy USB 2 to C adapters.
This doesn't adapt it like to true USB-C. It'll just run in USB 2.0 interface, which I think is better than having a non-functional port. But yeah, here's USB-C. It looks like this. These are the adapters that we buy. Honestly, kind of hard to find, but you can find them on eBay. So, where do you want me to put that through? I'm going to try to go through this little...
If it can work, yeah.
You know what we're going to do? I'm going to give you the adapter. We'll feed that thing through right here.
Yeah, this is an extra step because, again, you have to buy this separately if you want to have that port work.
About $6.
They're like $6, but there is a USB 2 header right there that we're going to plug this into. Not the prettiest thing in the world, but gets the job done.
All right, USB 3, where's that at? Do we have
USB 3, normally we do have it on these. It is in the middle of the bottom of the board.
So you're about to get another adapter, buddy. All right, here's USB 3. Very large connector, really can't miss it. It doesn't go anywhere else on any motherboards. He said it's in the bottom middle.
We might have to run it through here. This might be our best option.
Well, the graphics card will cover it.
Yeah, the graphics card will cover this. USB 3, as you can see, it's right next to that USB 2 we just used. And here comes that big old connector. Gonna line it up, push it in, and boom, just like that. Not too bad. The cutout's pretty close, so not too ugly, but that'll get the job done.
So the only other thing I need to plug in before we get our graphics card in is this fan header. This is just a 3-pin fan header, which can fit in a 3 or 4-pin socket. So what do we have?
By the HD audio. So it is a 3-pin header that is by the HD audio.
Perfect. We got a 3-pin fan.
So it's coming on through.
And it's a splitter. All the fans are on that.
Sweet. So we're going to take this, line it up. Again, it's right in between the HD audio and another USB header. And just like that, our fans are powered. No, Jackson's getting all the zip ties ready. I'll go ahead and show you guys the GPU once again. Here's our graphics card, the 2060 Super from Soyo. We're going to remove this cover right here that reveals what I like to say the most, the golden finger. So we're going to take this GPU and line it up with this top slot right here. We'll go ahead and test it to make sure which one of these covers we need to remove. I'm assuming it's going to be the top two. Yeah, it's going to be the top two. So what we need to do is grab our screwdriver, remove this PCI cover, unscrew just a little bit so it can slide back, and then we're going to break these off, which means basically bending them back and forth. It's not very great, not very elegant, but this is kind of a trade-off you get with these budget cases. So we'll wiggle that back and forth. There's one. Just like that, we're good to go. Now we need to grab 2 coarse thread power supply screws, the same screws that we use to screw in the power supply, to screw in this graphics card, have that ready to go. And we're gonna take our graphics card, make sure our PCI power is ready to go, and line it up with the topmost slot, push it in, and boom, we have our graphics card installed. Now we're gonna go ahead and take these 2 power supply screws and screw in the graphics card. Screw that in, slide her across, pull through our power. And we're gonna make sure to line up the clip on the top of the graphics card. This right here, this power, it needs the power, guys. Line it up, push it in, and then push that out of the way. We'll probably need a zip tie, which Jackson already pulled out. Go ahead and line this up, grab our zip tie. Let's make this look a little bit more tidy. And then grab some snips, and boom. Good to go there. Now the build is technically ready to go. The graphics card is installed. We have all the connectors hooked up. What we need to do is have Jackson do a little bit of cable management in the back to show you guys how to clean things up. Not a ton of cables to clean up, to be honest. And then from there, we'll turn this on and show you guys what it looks like and mess around with some of the RGB settings. I'm thinking a green would be ideal for this build.
All right, guys, it's cable management time. Everybody's favorite and least favorite time. So What I like to do is start from the top and kind of work my way down. So I usually just kind of take runs of cables like so. Basically just kind of, it's like a wire loom. You know, you could definitely cable manage this better, but I like to kind of cable manage with the mindset of upgrade paths and stuff like that. And also being able to actually get the back panel on, because that part can sometimes be really difficult.
All right, guys, not too bad of a build. Let's turn it on and let's see if we can find an RGB mode that makes sense for it. Grand reveal. All right, so it wasn't on green, but maybe this reset switch will let me change it. Nice. Yeah, so not many modes. We'll go with green. So there we go, guys. Nice green build ready to go. Let's go ahead and get Windows installed, play some games on it, and see how she performs. Now, before we get into the benchmarks of this gaming PC, now is a great time to mention the other products you can buy from Aliexpress, like this Mini Plus gaming handheld with a ton of retro games ready to go, powered by an ARM Cortex A7 processor, 3000 milliamp hour battery, and a super crisp IPS display that takes your favorite retro classics to the next level. If you love playing retro games like I do, you'll absolutely love adding this to your tech collection. You can also snag these Transformer earbuds, perfect for the Transformer fan in your life, while also being very flexible to fit many ear types, along with included Bluetooth 5 support so you have solid audio sync with all your devices. Be sure to check the links down below to pick up all the new tech Aliexpress has to offer, and let's get right back into those benchmarks of this gaming PC.
All right, guys, we're playing a classic game because right now it is, as of now, it's free, but if you're watching this video, it's no longer free, so you gotta pay for it. But this game is Chivalry.
Settings are right there. It's hard to find.
Yeah, this is the second Chivalry. They've had a lot of updates recently. Video, 1080p, medium settings with uncapped frame rate. Yeah, it's a very demanding game. We're playing like I think we're playing the 128 player count mode too, which is like just stupid hard to run, honestly. There's a lot of stuff
under $60 computer, or at least getting 60 FPS. I mean, high refresh rate is always cool to have in a game like this. As long as you have 60 FPS, you'll have a good time.
Oh, this is embarrassing. Ooh, I swung first. Whoa, buddy, chill. Oh, countered. You got reposited, yeah, McAllister. I go to Renfair. I know these words. The most satisfying feeling is when you get like a nice like swipe like that, you know, and you can hit like 8 people at once. Oh. We're going up. Oh, that's my teammate. Dodged.
Yo!
Teammates. Oh, we got the high ground now. Can I get like a cool little like...
Oh, we're getting the lag right here. Oh, yes. This is stress and stuff.
Yeah. No way, this guy's blocking everything. Ah, you can't block science. Give me that back.
He said, oh no!
Nope. Oh. I love when like someone just runs in the middle and it's just an absolute just...
What the hell?
I said one more life and that was it.
You got thrown.
Can you replay that? I don't even know what happened, but watch this.
Oh, team damage. Let's play some Fortnite. All right, guys, we are now in Fortnite on the usual performance settings, DX12. And I will say, this is probably a game that we're going to have a little bit of issue running when you're running this older Xeon, lower clock speeds, tons of cores. That's really helping you a ton in a game like Fortnite. But we're going to show you guys what this thing is capable of once I land eventually. You see CPU bound 100% right now, for sure.
EG nerd.
Oh! I didn't see you!
Ooh, they were a silent stalker. They were hiding. Whee!
Will this kill me? Okay, it does. Oh. I was testing that. Whoa! Squad up? Or like squad down? I'm in between two enemies!
Just a fish. Just a Jonah.
Tactical fish. Skirt! Ah!
I thought the car was gonna hit him.
Oh, there's someone else pulling. What is happening? No, drop that turret! No!
Oh.
Bob Dump.
Took a dump on us.
He took an absolute dumpy. Yeah, Fortnite. If you don't have a vehicle like that with a gun, you're done. But hey, performance pretty solid. Kind of stuttery on the start, but once you landed, it was pretty good running DX12. This guy's just, look at that vehicle, Jesus Christ. Well, let's run some other games. 3 more times by a couple other titles, see what this thing is fully capable of. But hey, you follow along at home, you built this PC, I think you'd be pretty happy with the performance.
Alright guys, so we got to build the gaming PC and hopefully built it alongside us, and on top of that we got to benchmark it, and you should see pretty similar results. I mean, the fact that we were able to play esports titles and AAA titles for $360 is pretty cool.
And we decided to test this PC in more titles. We ran the finals 1080p low settings, got an average of 70 to 80 FPS. And in Helldivers 2 at 1080p on medium settings using ultra quality render scale, it was a little bit laggy on the drop, but we ended up getting an average of 70 FPS in this very demanding new title. And also we tested Forza Horizon 5 1080p medium settings and got an average of 108 FPS. And last but certainly not least, our 3D Mark Time Spy score, which ended up being a score of 8,538, which for a $360 PC is 4 cents per point, which is actually really good. Again, the metric's not perfect, but for a PC at the $360 mark, getting a score of 8,000 in 3D Mark Time Spy is very impressive. So all in all, this Aliexpress PC, really good buy. This pairing works really well. And as always with Aliexpress, there's a ton of different options you can go with for different PC builds. So definitely check those links down below to build this PC today. And big shout out again to Aliexpress for sponsoring today's video.
And as always, we hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, check out our other 2 YouTube channels and also our twitch.tv/ToastyBros. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.
Did you guys know that we have a partner Discord server? It's discord.gg/ToastyBros. It's that easy to find, and it is that easy to join. You can join the server, get some behind the scenes looks at some of the stuff we're doing here on the channel, and also interact with the cool community. Discord.gg/ToastyBros. See you guys later. Goodbye.